Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is Robin Carter and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Flower Mound, Texas. And today I'm here to share my second video showing alternatives using the December 2023 paper pumpkin kit named All the Best. If you missed my first video, be sure and check that out on my YouTube channel, and it'll be the one right before this one. And before we begin, let me thank those of you who have subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for your support and welcome back. I hope you find some tips and tricks you like on this video as well. If you are new to my channel, or maybe you've seen a few but have yet to subscribe, I would really appreciate your subscription to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button below. All right, before we begin, I want to share, especially for my new viewers, that I do mention some things that are called my favorite things. And they're things like this 5x7 envelope, this 7x9 envelope, and all of those items, there'll be a link to where I purchased those in the description box of this video. Just hit the more button when you're reading about the video. And in there will be links to where I purchased these. They are from Amazon, so they are safe links. I am an Amazon affiliate, and when you use those links to purchase these items, I receive a few pennies at no cost to you for recommending these products. So let me thank you ahead of time if you use these links or have in the past when purchasing these items. As you can see, they store all the components to the paper pumpkin kits. I can even put the instruction booklet in here if I choose. And then other things I use them for, I pre-cut and score card bases that I keep right here on my craft desk. They also hold memories and more items, and these items hold a lot of things for me, especially die cut components and card components. So let's begin with our alternatives. So here are what we need for this alternate card. So we need a thick white card base, and I always feel to see which side, maybe a hair taller or wider, longer, however you want to look at that, and I put that on the front. We are going to use the big dandelion. I keep calling these daffodils. And then also the gold foiled card front piece. And then I have made this die cut. And let me share with you the products I've used. So in my previous video, I brought in these dies. They are the Darling Detail dies, and I used this one in my video, my first video. And so I try to stick with just one bundle if I'm going to introduce additional products. That way, in case this interests you, it gives you other ways to use it. So I haven't used the stamp set with it, just the dies. But this is available as a bundle, which means you can save 10% when you purchase the bundle, which includes the stamps and the dies. And the bundle number for this item is 161371. If you're just interested in the dies, the item number for it is 161370. And so I try to share all the item numbers for what I use. And if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would really appreciate you using this host code when you purchase items. This is my December host code. I update it every month. And purchases of $75 or more in merchandise before tax and shipping, you will receive a special gift from me as a thank you for using my host code. So this is what I brought in, and this is a pretty big set of dies. And so this is also how I store them. These are 4x6 magnets, and they're pretty strong. I believe I have a link to these on my favorite things. I want some that'll hold it when I tip it upside down. So I have found good ones that work. And I just put these on the card that comes from Stampin' Up! You can see the tape right here. I don't get the self-adhesive magnets. I just use the tape that's on there, or it tends to stick okay. But you can see there's quite a bit of dies here. So for this card, I used this die. And what I find interesting is it doesn't cut the outside, actually. See this stitching? It cuts the inside out, okay? So it doesn't cut around here. It just cuts the inside. So just be aware that when you're cutting that you're going to want to have the finished size of what you want, and then try to do your best to center it when you're cutting. So that's the die I use. Another tip for storing is I do write how many dies are in this. And then I just started new making a photocopy when the dies come in. That way, in case when I count and I'm missing one, I can look at my copy and see exactly which one it is. So that's just, and I do keep these in the original sleeves that they come in. I do put the title here bigger and I store them where I can see them right there. All right, so I think I can put this aside for this card. So let me show you the finished card while I'm going. So this is the finished card. And so when I was making this card, I was like, I wanted to put a sentiment, but I didn't want to cover any of the pretty details of this die cut. So I put it right on the card. Now, one thing to be aware of is it's a little harder because we're going to put this up on dimensionals to do that. I did happen to do it. I kept going with other labels and I finally just decided, you know what, I'm going to stamp that right on that sheet. So this is going to go here. And I do have the little stamp. I think this is a very cute font that we received in the stamps this month. And I did stamp this in Pebbled Path, which is the ink spot that we got this month. So as you can see here, I put a 1-inch square of the coordinating cardstock that the ink spot is, because I recommend you store your ink spots upside down. Now my subscribers received this as well as a pouch to store their stamps in so that they're handy whenever they want to use them again. So here's the November one. I haven't made the December ones yet, but if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber of mine, I will be making those and probably sending those the first of the month when I close this host code in case some of you earned free products as well. So that's just a perk I give as a thank you to my Paper Pumpkin subscribers. All right, so we're going to start by adhering down this gold foil piece right onto this card base. Let me score it a little better so it stays flat. And this is a bone folder. I don't have the item. I should put the item number on that for you. But it's just a nice thing to have to help burnish your score lines. All right, so I'm going to center this right onto this card front. So I'm going to take my multi-purpose liquid glue, and I quit doing dots. And I sometimes refer back to my old habits because the dots tend to show. I guess it's too much glue in one spot. So I run a thin line. And then when I put it on my card base, I purposely scoot it to help smooth out the glue. And the liquid glue gives me just a little bit of time. Sometimes. That time it did not, to move it around. I may have to add more glue so I can get it centered on my card base. I think if I use more glue, it gives me more wiggle room. All right, let's add some more glue because it has already dried on there. Things happen always on a video. If something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong when I'm doing a video. All right, so I just embrace those, and you may have those problems as well sometimes, and it's okay. All right, so that looks pretty centered on there. And then, like I said, I pre-cut this for you so you didn't have to wait on me to cut this. I am going to put it on dimensionals, but before I do, I want to put it on the card where I think it's going to go, and then stamp my sentiment while it's flat. Now, you could put this in a stamp positioning machine so that you don't make any mistakes, but I'm gonna wing it. I do have what Stampin' Up! Used to carry years and years ago called a Stampin' and I still find it quite handy, and I've tried to put that in my favorite things, but I think Amazon either doesn't carry it anymore or they don't put it there anymore. So you can see how you use this is let me put this more in the center. All right, so you're going to want to put it like, so you first just stamp, let me start over. You put this imaging sheet here, you ink it up, and then you put your block in the corner and you stamp down. Okay, and that shows you where your stamp is going to stamp. And then you put this imaging sheet where you want your sentiment to go. I keep saying I should probably put this on ahead of time, but I'm going to trust that it's going to stay. All right, and then you put this where you want your sentiment to go. You know what, I am going to go ahead and put this on dimensionals. I did this one okay with dimensionals, and I'm just afraid that it's going to move and then my sentiment will be covered up. If it goes all wrong, then we can always add a sentiment on a label. I'll make sure I'm doing the correct side. Now, since I'm going to put this on like a frame, I'm going to need several dimensionals. So I'm going to try to speed along, and I'll share with you some tips while I put this on here. I do cut my dimensionals in half. I find that half works plenty, and I still use enough to hold it down well. So if you want to conserve a little bit on your dimensionals, you can use those. We also do sell mini ones, so if you don't want to bother with cutting them, you can just purchase the mini ones. Now I need to cut some more in half. So if you haven't received your kit, hopefully you will receive it again soon. Now tomorrow I am expecting my new products in. So I do have another set of alternatives I want to share using the card base with the little dandelions on the bottom. So I'm hoping that that'll come in early and I can record that video and get it out to you probably next week. I know it's coming up on Christmas, and I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. Hopefully you'll get to spend some time with friends and family to celebrate Christmas. All right, now this is an older set of dimensionals that I found in a paper pumpkin kit, and they're kind of hard to get off. They're a little thicker than the ones you can buy in the online store, and they started putting the ones that are just like the ones in the online store in our kits. But I don't want to waste these, so I'm going to use them till they're gone. I could also have used a strip, foam strip, adhesive foam strip, but I think those are even thicker, and I didn't want it to stick up that much. So I just went along putting a whole lot of dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to put this on in the center. Hopefully I won't get my hair in the video, but I might. It's kind of crooked. Up there. Okay, let's see how I did. I did okay. I'm happy with that. All right, so now we're going to put our sentiment. So since this is raised, I'm also going to be mindful before I stamp it down to see if it actually looks correct, because this is going to be raised a little here. All right, I do have a full-size Pebble Path ink pad, and that's what I'm going to use. All right, I better double check that since I moved everything. I didn't have my pad open. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to ink it up. And then before I press, does that look right? I think so. So let's stamp it down. All right, everybody cross your fingers that this worked on dimensionals. I'm going to leave my T there, and it looks good. So the little O swirly does get on the gold foil and won't show, but I'm okay with that. I did want it to, you can still read it and everything. Now, I do recommend a product. This is called our Stampin' Scrub, and I love it because it has a little raindrops here, which means that's the wet side, a little sunshine here to dry it. So I have already put some Stampin' Mist And this is a small bottle. It's now in just a big bottle, but I have this from years back. And the item number for it is 153648. One thing I recommend is you do use this, and then when you go to put your stamps away, and you may not use them for a long time, give them a little clean with your Stampin' Mist, and that helps also condition your stamps. So it's a good thing to do. Now be careful when you're swirling that, because sometimes it splatters rain drops, so you don't want that to go. So you can take these out and rinse them out, and just rinse them in a sink, no soap and water, just to get your water-based ink out. Now, if you're wondering what this is, I often cut in 1/8 and 3/8. So I have over here kind of what the decimal is in inches, just so I have an idea. I don't know why I do that. I just like to refer to that sometimes. Okay, so here's this, and now we need our dandelion on there. So I need more dimensionals. I'll finish out this little strip right here. And then let's put some just around. I want him on the dandelion on dimensionals as well. And I know I call my products him and her, and that's okay. That's what I like to do. All right. Press those down just to make sure they're good. I really like this color combination of the Balmy Blue. I don't think I mentioned that. That is Balmy Blue cardstock. All right, and then I'm going to put the dandelion. I think about there looks good. Okay, now I haven't gone in and added any of the embellishments yet. I may do that. I kind of wait till the end to see how many cards I make, and then divvy out either additional embellishments that I have in my craft room, or using the ones that come in the kit. So this is my first alternative, using that gold foil piece. I'll bring it a little closer so you can see. So let me know what you think about that. The best compliment you can give to me is a thumbs up, and also share this video. Like and share it with your friends. All right, hopefully I won't lose this when I go to review at the end. Okay, so now I'm going to share the one I made with just the stamp sets and some additional supplies in my craft room. So I used the same dies. I just used that smaller frame piece in Balmy Blue. So there is two sizes of frames, the large one and then this one. I have a white backing for this. And I have some stamped dandelions from the stamp set in our kit. Now, if you missed how I stamped these, you can check out my last video. I stamped it, kind of masked that off. Okay, we need a piece of grass. So this grass I got from a recent online exclusive bundle called the Garden Meadow. And so it has some a little grass piece right here. And I think it's going to be, I thought it would be cute on this card. So I'm bringing that in. Okay, my first card, I used the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder on a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of cardstock. We could try a different folder, but it's not in here. So really I just love the texture of embossing folders. You know what, let me just see. I think in my one, I'm going to steal it out of my pouch for my next video, a different embossing folder. Let's try one of the basics. Let's try this fun one. So the basics embossing folders, those were online exclusive a while back. But when you purchase those, you get 3. So there's 3 in the basics embossing folder. And the item number for this is 161598. All right, so when you purchase those, you get this fun dot one that's pretty raised. You get this cross hairs, in this flower one. Now I used this one on my first video, so you can check that out. Speaking of merchandise, if you do not have a demonstrator, I do have a host code for December. So if you're interested in any of these products and do not have a demonstrator, I would appreciate your support by using that host code. Any orders of $75 or more will receive a special gift from me. Now here's the painted texture 3D embossing folder, but I'll use this on another card. I'm going to change it up just by using a different folder to see how it looks. So let's start by adhering that down. You know what? I'm not going to adhere it because I'm going to add some ribbon. So we can do that now. So I have some retired natural finish ribbon. Now there is a ribbon similar to this in the online store. It is retiring. It does come with a piece of copper as well. So I figured I was okay using this since you can get something similar in the online store. I do like to use my grid sheet for centering things. And so I can see right there that here is the center. And sometimes I take a pencil or something and mark it, but I think I'm just going to eyeball it. So there's the center. These dots will help me. I'll know I need to put it right there. You know what? That is not the center. Move that over. Okay, that looks better. Okay, so I just take that and then I'm going against the rules and see if this is sharp enough. It's my paper scissors. It frayed a little bit, but that's okay. So this is my ribbon saving technique. I just cut off enough to have to tuck on the bottom. So let's do that now. I'm going to use my tear and tape to hold it down. So let's use that. Sometimes I just put a thing of, I gotta find the start of it. Here it is. Sometimes I just put a piece of adhesive on the back to hold it down, but this time I'm going to use my tear and tape. I need more than one finger for this, obviously. All right, let's put that over the end. Let me get one ready for the next sheet. It's stuck to my grid sheet. Hope I didn't tear it. Okay, just the dots actually help you get it straight. All right, I'm going to put this, that's a big piece. But since this is going flat on the card base, I can use this as the adhesive for my card base as well. Okay, now we can adhere this to our card base. Now, be mindful with embossing folders like this. You need to make sure you get it on the flatter parts, not just the raised up parts, because it's not going to adhere to your card. But that's why I'm glad we have some tear and tape there. All right, let me feel. Okay, that feels to be the front. And let's put this down. With that tear and tape, I'm going to have to try to get it the first shot. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now we're going to take this frame and we're going to have a white backing for it. Okay, that way we can build a little scene here. So I want to take my grass that I cut. You know, you could technically probably use the positive or the, I think this is the top. This is meant to cut. But you could probably get 2 out of 1 with that. Now, I just want the grass to show in the scene. I don't want it to show in the dots. So I'm going to trim this down to, well, I don't like that piece either. Let's cut that. Where it will show just in the scene about there. So I know to cut it like right there. I'm going to start shorter, and if I need to trim it up, I can trim it up again. I just don't want to be too short. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to have to be very careful adhering this to the frame here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, I'm going to adhere it just on the outside so that I can tuck that grass inside the frame. So let me put this on here. Maybe I'll just do the top, and that way I know it's on there good. Got cardboard pieces stuck all over me. This doesn't have to be centered. You just want to make sure you get the glue. I don't want it to show though. Okay. Now I know I can put my grass in here. That's the top. I'm going to hurry and put that where it's going to be in the frame. Like that. And now I'm going to tear the bottom parts down. Okay. Then I thought I'm going to put 3 dandelions in here, all at different heights. So let me kind of lay them out like I want them. And let me get out my finished card so I don't mess up anything. Okay, so this one, like I said, it has the painted texture 3D. I did stamp that sentiment in there as well because I don't want to cover up any of my pretty frame. So I need to find my Stampin' jig and my imaging sheet again. Again, you could freehand this or you could use a stamp positioning tool like I usually like to use. Hello, friend, and I closed up my pebbled path and set it somewhere. You know what? I have my mini one right here. So when I use my ink spot to ink up stamps on a block, I like to put the block on the table and then tap with my spot. Hope I didn't wiggle the table. I really wish I could. Okay, we're going to cross our fingers. Hope that that is fully inked. While I'm holding that down, I'm going to see where in the world I put my full-size ink pad. Oh, it's here. All right, so if it didn't ink well, I'm going to leave the stamp tool in spot. And that is okay. I'm going to try it again with my full-size ink pad. And we're going to cross our fingers that it did not move. Get a darker image. Okay, I like that better. It's much deeper. Now I'm kind of wishing I did that one double so that it had a darker base. So I can use my Stampin' scrub again. It's probably still wet, so I won't even have to add water. Now, if you don't want to have to wash this thing as often, one thing I recommend is you tap this off on a scrap piece of paper, and then that way you don't have to wash it off. Clean it, and so to get the ink out. Okay, so there is our card with our sentiment. Put these kind of where I want them, and then we'll adhere. Now some I may have to trim the little stem, and that's okay, because I want them to be at different levels. All right, let's trim this stem so that he goes in lower. All right, let's glue him. The one on the left. It would have been nice, although, you know, we always want something more, don't we? To have some going in different directions, but this will work. Okay, this one needs trim because he's not going in. He's hiding the sentiment. All right, that looks good. All right, and this one I'm going to have come up real high. To cover up that spot. Okay, now something fun you can do to give even that a little more interest is put a dimensional under just the flower part. Of course, I should have done the other one first, but this one's wiggling all over, making glue blobs. And so that helps the flower petals set up. I think I did that on just the center one of my previous card. I'm having trouble getting the backing off. Okay, and I'm going to leave that one, the one in the back, flat. Okay, so now we're just going to put this on dimensionals as well. And so how do you like this idea for just if you're done with your kit and you want to make a card using the stamp sets? You probably don't even have to use the grass. You could cut your own grass maybe. And so this will be our finishing card. Like I said, be sure to subscribe because I do have another set of alternatives I need to do a video on. And I'm hoping it will be posted maybe Tuesday of next week. I know we have Christmas coming up, so I won't be posting over the weekend. We're going to do a little traveling to visit our family. But I will record that video and probably have it ready to go on Tuesday of next week. All right, I'm just going to eyeball this, and the little dots help me with that. Now, these little embellishments here, let me grab that. So this is the Metallic Enamel Effects Basics. And the item number for this is 161610. So let me tell you, I don't know how long it's going to take me to ever use this whole bottle. But here's what I do when I put these on. I will have to set this aside to dry overnight. So you just give it a little squeeze and a little squeeze. Now to help them go flat, you want to take it and tap it on your table. I usually do it off the edge, but I was trying to do it there to show you. All right, and so that helps them flatten out. Now they do take a while to dry, so you want to set it aside where you're not going to mess it up because I have done that many a times. And that looked just a little bit crooked, so I'm going to try to pick it up and turn it just a hair. Okay, so this is my second set, and as you can see, they're each going to turn out a little different. When that dries, I'm going to get my gum eraser to get rid of that shiny part. So how do you like these alternatives? I love reading your kind comments. I try to reply to all of them, even if it's just to say thank you. And so this is my one with just stamps. And then the one I did earlier is over here. And so this is the gold foiled piece from our kit, and I added the border from the Darling Details bundle, the dies. So in case that was a product you liked, I thought I would use it again, so you had more ideas to use this that bundle. I think it's a very cute set of options. Okay, so this is my second set of alternatives. Again, let me know if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and also share it with your other crafting friends. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next video. So everyone have a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you get to spend some time with friends and family and a little time to slow the pace down and enjoy your Christmas. So until my next video, have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.